So, this is an interesting one we have tonight. We have Latoya Jackson on Howard Stern versus Corey Feldman, and there's a lot of shade thrown here and whatnot. And I'm starting this about 12, 13 minutes into the first segment. It's uploaded in 3 parts on YouTube. So, basically, what we skipped is just Latoya was basically against Michael. She was saying that yeah, there may be something to all these allegations. She didn't understand why Michael was basically paying some of these people off. And she was basically saying like, would you leave your kid with Michael Jackson and all this kind of stuff? And that's her brother, you know, it's strange. And if you watch the other video that I was mentioning about where Corey Feldman's dad shows up, Latoya Jackson's husband, manager, whatever, that creepy guy, he shows up there. And so you'll hear some mention here about that. And in that way, those two videos are kind of tied together. So here, let's get right to it. We're just going to kind of jump in before Corey. I believe this is a pre-recorded call the first time. And if I'm not mistaken, he actually calls in later. I've only listened to this like one time before. But hey, I'm happy to have all you on board. Let's get to it.
You should let these people know that if it wasn't Michael and it was any other person on the street doing this, the first thing they would say is this guy should be under the jail cell. I'm not saying that he should be
under the jail cell.
You want to know something? If it was anybody else, they would be applauding you. They said,
Wilson Phillips,
yeah, that's crazy, right? Like, this is, you got to keep in mind, this is her brother here.
yeah.
He never had little girls over.
Well, let me tell you something.
Always little boys.
Jesus.
You're absolutely right. If this was any other case and it wasn't Michael Jackson, you would see that they would say, wow, the sister was really great. She came forward and she talked about it.
You would be a hero.
You would be a hero. But,
Queen Latifah, they didn't sleep there. They didn't know. They weren't at my house. They don't know Michael.
oh, she's a hard-on. Don't worry about Queen Latifah. But, you know, it's really funny.
He just called Queen Latifah a hard-on. Nice. I wonder. I need to look up what Queen Latifah was saying. But yeah, you know, I don't see a world where Latoya Jackson's a hero.
Corey Feldman called us because he slept with Michael. He slept
Corey
with...
Feldman has been over to the house.
Yes.
Whether they slept together or not, I know he was slept in the room.
Yeah, he slept in the room. And Corey said, when Latoya's on, let me call in. I'm going to tell her she's a liar. Now, why is he reacting that
No,
way?
he slept in the room like I just told you. I don't know if they slept together or
Right.
not, but I know that they probably did not sleep together because when Corey
Maybe
Feldman
he
was
does
up at
call
the
in
house,
right away.
Michael didn't like Corey Feldman. He says, I wish he would get out of here. He's too old. I don't want to be bothered with him.
Really?
See, that's quite the accusation. I mean, who's going to say she's wrong, I guess? I know she uses the defense, that's my brother, that's my brother. But for her to say that that Michael didn't like Corey, and you hear all the stories about them and stuff, I do side with Corey on that. I think things maybe went a little south towards the end there, but this was also before all of that. Strange time, like all these times tables here, and the way that this is put together, it's hard to tell exactly how and when things were going on, but we'll let it play out a bit, and if Corey doesn't explain it, I'll explain it a little more for you in a bit.
That's exactly what he said about Corey Feldman. He said, he's too old and I don't want to be bothered with him.
He's rejected. He was
And
rejected.
I kept saying, he's going to hear you. And Corey would tell him, but my father's an alcoholic and he's no good. My father's a drug. He was going on and on.
Really?
He
wanted Michael to adopt him.
Well, where's
yes,
Corey?
he did. And Michael says, I don't want to
Is
be
that him?
bothered with this
Yeah,
boy.
Corey. Oh, wait, Corey, you want to talk to Corey, Latoya? Here, hold on.
I was right there.
Hold on, wait.
On the phone.
Here he is. Hey, Corey.
Yeah.
Now, what Latoya is saying is that Michael didn't really like you.
Oh, boy. You know, I was listening to this whole conversation. I was starting to think, maybe this isn't a good idea. But now that I've heard Latoya lie
So
about...
why do you say she's lying?
Why do you say she's lying?
Why she
Well,
said...
she just lied about me, personally.
Well, how do you know that Michael...
Okay, so Corey is calling in directly, and he was listening to the whole thing, man. That's nuts.
I lied about you. The only thing I said was you
Because
probably
I can
couldn't
tell you...
go over
Hold on. Because, first of all, I can tell you that I never told Michael anything about my father, and the only reason she's saying that is because Latoya and Jack went to my father for management a couple years ago.
Oh, wow.
And this
That's
is
not
stuff
true.
that my father obviously told her. So, because I
That's
never
not true at
discussed
all.
my dad with Michael ever. So
Latoya-
that was all completely made up.
So
That's
you're
not
saying that
true
your
at all.
father never even had a drinking problem or anything?
No, my dad was never a drinker.
Right. And
Was it your...
That's true. I don't remember in his book or anything. He never went off about how he was an alcoholic. He was just a fucking asshole, you know.
Mother, then it was somebody in your family because Michael came back and told me. He told me the same night you were there at the house. And I was afraid you were going to hear him because you were a boy, a young boy.
Latoya,
And I was afraid.
the only time that you
And I
were
said,
ever there
Michael,
when
he's
I
going to
was
hear you.
there,
I don't even want to talk
you were there one time.
Well, damn. Okay, they're really getting into it already. We're gonna jump right back into part two. But it's strange to think. I mean, because I always give the benefit of the doubt to Feldman, based on him being a child star and whatnot, and fuzzy memories. I mean, I can't remember shit when I was a kid. How could anybody living this fantasy world like believe remember anything? At least to the T specifically. So it's like, that being said, I mean, on the other hand, you mean, look at Latoya Jackson. I don't know. I've always kind of seen her as the least, like the bottom rung of Jacksons. Not to throw any shade, but I feel like, what the fuck is Latoya Jackson ever done besides try to be my psychic partner or whatever? So I think she has zero credibility here. I mean, yes, that's her brother, but listen to Michael Jackson's her brother, but then listen to the shit that she's saying about him. And Latoya, this is one of the biggest platforms of the day, is Howard Stern's show. Howard knows what he's doing, you know what I mean? So I feel in a lot of ways, if anything, this can only turn out good for Corey.
Latoya,
And I was afraid.
the only time that you
And
were
I
ever
said,
there
Michael,
when
he's
I
going
was
to hear
there,
you. I don't even want to talk
you were there one
Corey
time.
he knows the truth.
Now, Corey, now let me ask you something, Corey. You're angry with Latoya, but she says she saw checks, and she saw lots of young boys coming in and out of the house. Why would you
And
call
what
her a
else
liar?
did I say?
Well, there were
And I
young
said,
boys coming in and out of the house. There were young girls coming in and out of the house.
You
Not
saw
young
girls.
anything. What does that have to do with anything?
Well, is it possible that something occurred and that the money was exchanged?
It's possible that money was
With
exchanged.
Corey,
then why
no,
would you-
because he didn't
I mean,
like Corey.
I don't know
No,
what
Yeah.
Corey,
Michael...
absolutely not.
You know that Michael has been giving money to charity and to people that he cares about forever.
Yes, he
And-
has been giving money to people to charity. That's very true.
Okay.
Yeah, that lines up.
But you
Is
know
it
what, Corey?
completely
He's not your
impossible
brother.
that
You
maybe
did not
he was
live
just-
with him, and you don't know him. So who are you to make these statements?
Oh, I don't know him. Well, obviously...
No,
I
you
know
don't.
better
You
than
did not
do.
live with him, and you don't know him.
How, I mean,
Yes, you stayed the night over, and Michael didn't want you there. I'll say it right in your face.
Jesus.
It was. He emphatically didn't want you over.
Oh, okay.
And
That's why. That's why.
he goes,
That's why I still talked to Michael 6 months ago. When's the last time you talked
You
to
know
Michael?
what?
Latoya?
You don't know Michael, though. Of course he'll smile in your face, and he smiled every time you came downstairs, too.
What does that
Yeah, but
mean?
Corey,
That
maybe-
he?
You turned your back.
So he
I mean-
invited me over because he didn't like me.
Yeah, what does that even mean? If Corey didn't, I mean, if Michael didn't like you or didn't want him over there, he wouldn't have been over there. I mean, shit. Michael's notorious for just cutting people off. Like, you hear so many people tell that story. In fact, that's what he eventually did to Corey himself. Whenever, Corey's words were kind of misconstrued in the press. I don't think that happened at this point. Corey, spoke out about the Michael Jackson thing, and they kind of took pieces out. I don't want to misquote him or nothing. You can look it up. But and then it kind of made it look like he was throwing some shade towards Michael. And in a lot of ways, I think maybe Corey did kind of pick a side too quick there, because if I remember correctly, he did kind of come out and say, like, that he has to kind of make some distance, keep some distance between them or whatever. But like, as I said, it's kind of a notorious story that once you kind of turn on Michael, so to speak, he will cut you off real quick. And I think that's exactly what happened between him and Corey eventually. But as of now, I mean, look, he said talk to him 6 months ago. That's basically yesterday in Jackson time.
But Corey, let me ask you
Wait,
something.
no, wait. Hold
No,
on.
Corey, you pushed your way over, remember? Every single time, because he would say, here he comes again. Oh,
Anybody out there
God.
smoking with me? Let's do it.
Now, Latoya,
And I know that hurts you to hear it, but
Hold on,
that's
no,
the
no.
truth. And you know what I said? You know what I said? I told Larry, I told him, I said, listen, I said, I'm sure he didn't sleep with Corey because of the way he felt about him.
You're talking
Then you turned around and said, no, you're right,
about
he
Howard
didn't
now,
sleep with you.
not Larry.
Hey, Corey, why did your relationship with Michael taper off, though?
Howard,
Yes. Yeah, Corey, why did your relationship taper off with Michael, though?
It didn't taper off. As a matter of fact, I have a letter from him from 4 months ago
Right.
when I had eye surgery because I was in the
Nice.
hospital and he was leaving for tour. And he wrote me a letter which I have right in front of me and I could read to you.
What does it say?
Okay, I'll read you this letter. This
You
letter
see, and I've actually heard Corey reference his eye surgery before. So I think if we're gonna put on our detective hats, we could definitely line up all these events. And her saying that Michael didn't sleep with Corey because he didn't like him. Come on, man, what a bitch. What I mean, this is every child star that had anything to gain from accusing Michael Jackson, and Macaulay Culkin, I mean, none of them had anything negative to say. So, if you watch that the HBO documentary that basically should have ended HBO. How badly that was done. Oh my god, that was just horrible. I'll go ahead and tag down below the YouTuber Razor Fist, the Rageaholic. Well, he did a great rebuttal covering the entire Michael Jackson accusations and stuff like that. And I can basically definitively say like that dude didn't do anything. The only thing that Michael Jackson is guilty of is being kind of a weirdo, you know. I'm on Team MJ for sure. Be sure to check out that video if you have any doubts.
Letter from Michael, dated 6/22/93, says, "Dear Corey, I'm with you, Corey, and sending you happy get well thoughts and all my love, Michael Jackson."
Now that's a
this
form
is
letter.
obviously
I got the
not
same
even
letter.
like-
I wouldn't call that a letter. I'd call that a note.
That's a note.
Well,
But anyway,
whatever.
but Corey, isn't it in a sense you want to defend
Shut up,
Michael
Robin.
because I'm just asking. I'm putting this thought in your head. You want to defend him because you did spend time in the bedroom and you don't want anyone to think that anything went on. Not that anything did go on.
I don't care.
Nothing went on.
Believe me.
Nothing went on.
Believe me.
Nothing went on with him and Corey.
Hold on,
You
hold
didn't
on.
like Corey.
If something did
And
go
that's
on with
it.
me, I would be more than happy to announce it because then I would be like everybody else and I'd jump on the bandwagon.
Of course he would have. I mean, yeah.
What it's
On the
about.
bandwagon. There
I
is
have
no
to-
bandwagon
Definitely.
to jump on.
I
Now,
live
why
my
would
life
Corey?
honestly.
Why
I
would
have to-
Latoya? Let me ask you something, Corey.
Yeah, I mean that makes perfect sense. If anyone would have been wanting to jump on some sort of bandwagon back then and make some cash, probably would have been Corey and every other star that was there, and it wasn't. You know, that didn't happen.
You seem to have some insight
Howard,
here.
you know what?
Why would
I don't
Latoya?
want, if you're going to speak to me, put Corey off the Feldman.
All right.
Corey is not making any
Can I ask one last question, Corey? Corey, why would Latoya lie? Why would Latoya lie?
Hold on, let me say something to Latoya.
She's
Let me
fucking
ask you, Corey,
Latoya Jackson.
Why would Latoya lie about this?
Because
What do you
she's very sick.
That's why is she
Oh,
sick
yeah.
though? How would you know that?
She seems to be managing her life. We're sick about her.
She's managing her life. She's the only person in that whole family that's never had a career. The only career she's had is based
Tell
on
him, Corey.
But she has a career. She makes a lot of money.
That's not true at all, Corey. You know what? You have to stop and remember, I have 9 brothers and sisters, and you know what? You don't hear of any of them. They don't work. They can't get work. They can't do anything. Michael supports them, except for Janet. She's the only one, and myself. We support
Latoya,
ourselves, and no one else. So you cannot say that.
Latoya,
I'm
every
sorry,
time
you're
I
very
ever
wrong.
saw you, okay,
You're very
you and
wrong.
Michael were like best friends. You guys
That's
were
right.
so
Michael
close
and I were
together.
best friends, and that's why I know everything about him, and you don't.
No, so you guys were best friends, and now all of a sudden,
But you know what, Howard?
you decided that all these horrible things he did.
Yeah, all right, Corey.
No
I'm
shit.
Gonna stay with
I'm not going to do that.
All right, I'll stay with Latoya.
Hallmark
Corey,
of a
I'm gonna-
He
liar.
doesn't know what he's saying.
Corey,
I don't know what.
Corey, let me put you on hold.
That
Let
makes
me
perfect
think about
sense.
Corey. All right, say goodbye to each other. Hold on. Wait a second. Latoya? Hello? All right, Corey's gone. Well, listen, that's
No,
what's...
Corey's absolutely right. Michael did not like Corey. He felt he was too big and he was a pest. That's why I told you in the beginning, I don't think
Too
Michael
big
ever
and a
slept with
pest.
Corey at all. Never. Because that's how he felt about him.
And admittedly, you might have been confused about anything about Corey's parents because Corey says that he never told Michael Jackson any of that, and nor
But
is it
you know
true.
what? He did say that one parent
Well,
was
Michael
an
might have-
alcoholic and one was a drug addict, and
Michael-
Corey knows this.
Well, Michael
That's
might
what
have
Mike told
Michael might have said that just to be outrageous. You understand what I'm saying?
That's true.
Yeah, you don't know if that is
Yeah.
Well, he did corroborate what Latoya has said all along, that she and Michael were best friends when she lived at home.
That's right.
And he knows. We did. He would see us whispering together, talking together, walking together. We did everything
But
together.
Latoya, let's just sum up by saying this. You never saw Michael Jackson have sex with any boys, but you are saying you saw checks that were paid to families, and you don't know if it was for sex or not.
Well,
but
I
you're
mean,
just
I guess
assuming
that
it
kind of
was
lines up
because you
too.
thought
He
it
did pay off people, hush
My
money,
mother
really. I
showed
mean,
me, and she says, I said,
guess it's
"Mother,
easier to
for
just
what?"
throw
She
money
goes,
at
well,
it.
What do you think this is for? I go, I don't know.
Right.
And she goes, don't stupid, Latoya. And that's exactly.
Again, be sure to watch that Razor Fist video. He mentions all of this shit, and it's a great breakdown. It's a fucked up rap that Michael Jackson has from a lot of people still.
Exactly what she said, and she stormed out the room. She was very angry.
All right. I hear you.
She's totally aware of everything. She's the one that kind of planted the seed in my head to think,
Do you think that
going on?
do you think you'll be called up as some kind of witness in any of this?
Well, they've been trying to subpoena me for a while now.
Right. Well, you so you'll have to
See,
come
I
and
just can't believe
testify,
anything
right?
this bitch says. I mean,
I really don't care to speak about that. I wouldn't really want to testify.
Right.
I really wouldn't.
Well, let me ask you something. What do you think Michael is going to do? There was word today that he's probably going to return to the country.
let's
I'm
see
gonna-
if
I'm
Corey
gonna ask
pops
you guys
back up.
something, and to do this to me, to denounce me for about these kids that are being harmed and hurt.
I wrote your name down, Larry. Now everything's fine.
And then 2 seconds later, she called you Larry.
No problem. Who cares? Listening to her and Corey yell at each other was worth it.
Now that everything's cleared up.
Well, now that weren't you left to be the judge on this case?
You don't know him like I do.
I do know him like you do.
I don't know him.
Your father was an alcoholic.
My father
Then they just rag on him. Fucking Howard.
My mother never had a
He
drink.
didn't like you anyway.
Screw you, Michael hates you. I'm telling the truth, Your Majesty. I mean, Your Honor. I mean, Larry. I mean, Howard. I mean, Jack. Jay.
It's wild. It's wild stuff. We'll take a break. We'll be back right after these words.
Party Wave Stickers, who produces high-quality outdoor durable graphics and stickers that are guaranteed to make your ideas stick. You can place an order online 24/7 at partywavestickers.com. Stickers can be a great way to tell your story. As you know, you personalize your products or advertise your brand. So whatever the idea, they would love to hear it. Party Wave Stickers is based out of Corpus Christi, Texas, and they ship stickers throughout the United States.
And with that, we're happy to announce we've partnered up with Party Wave to make our first set of exclusive stickers for the new podcast. Best part, all you have to do is follow our podcast, like us on Instagram,
At staunch_TV.
and at Black Maria LLC. DM us with your mailing address and we'll ship you one free. You heard that right, free. Limited supply, so get them while they last.
Okay, and it looks like Corey called back in. I'm guessing, I'm not sure if it's later or the next day or something. I guess we'll find out. But let's get to that right now. It's about a 12-minute video or so.
You know why? Because nobody confronted her ever in person.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you something. I gotta sort of say something to you here.
Okay.
You're a funny guy.
Thank you.
She is the guy's sister.
Right.
You admit she was his best friend.
And all she is saying, she has come forward and said that all she saw was checks.
Okay, no, wait.
So-
now, if that was all she said...
That's what I thought she said.
Okay, conference yesterday, he has molested small children for years. I mean, that was her
I guess
quote.
that was a tape
He's
issue there. I don't know
molested
what that
small
was.
children for years.
And how do you know that's not true?
She couldn't say it was true.
But
she
you-
couldn't
but-
sit there and say she saw it.
But you're calling up and saying that you, based on your one experience, plus,
No.
Corey, you're not the best witness.
Okay.
Because I got to tell you
But
something.
how many people actually see molesters in the act?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
And it is true that when Corey was young, he was Michael Jackson's friend and did
And-
sleep in the same bed. Did you sleep in the same bed?
No, I slept
Slept
in
in
his
the
bed
room.
that he did not sleep in.
Right.
Well, let me
I don't see how they could be saying Corey's not the best witness while they're on, and you're talking about Latoya Jackson. I mean, clearly Howard is just there to get these people rattled or whatever. But I'm kind of trying to look a little deeper into it and trying to just kind of pick apart because I mean I've definitely seen damn near every Corey Feldman interview, and especially editing interviews and whatnot that he's done for this latest documentary, Corey Feldman, Artist, the Man Behind the Love, available right now on Corey Feldman's box set, directed by Jake Perry and edited by yours truly. Well, while doing that, you can really get a read on not just doing the editing, but throughout the years watching everything and whatnot. You can really get a read and feel for Corey. Like you can tell when he's kind of putting on a show and when he's being truthful. And in my opinion, everything he's saying here is on the level. And I mean, God, I think people that don't even know who Latoya Jackson is or never heard her speak, you hear her talk for more than 5 seconds, man. And you can just you just feel like you need to take a shower. You got to wash the lies off you. You know what I mean? So that's the vibe I'm getting. That's the overall vibe I'm getting from Latoya Jackson here, man. I wonder what else. I wonder if she spoke about this later on or had anything else to say about Michael Jackson, because this is definitely early mid 90s here. This is pre 97. I think they mentioned he had a letter from Michael Jackson from 93, so I'm guessing if that was about 4 months earlier, he said he talked to him 6 months before. This is somewhere around 94. That would place Feldman, that would put him in a pretty interesting spot in his career, actually, 1994. That would be like the full-on kind of direct-to-video route that he was going to that whole time. The Don Borcher stuff and whatnot. So, interesting time here. Interesting time. I think around this time too, Corey was really, really focused on getting, doing tours and playing more music and whatnot. As his first album must have already came out around this time. Actually, or it was just recently released around this time. So, just to kind of build a time period for you fellas, because to me that's the most interesting part of this whole thing, is just trying to pick apart, these eras, if you will, between everyone I cover on the channel, but in particular Corey. I like to have a broad kind of look at his career, and this is definitely an interesting part of it. Everything he did on Howard Stern. You can check out all my Howard Stern versus Corey Feldman videos. I know the one that got a great response was Corey Feldman versus Rose McGowan.
But then again, Michael Jackson wasn't attracted to Corey.
That Latoya said that.
According to Latoya. Okay,
Wait a minute, Corey.
And Corey got upset because Michael doesn't like him.
But wait a minute,
right.
Corey, she did corroborate something that you also told us, that you were the aggressor in your relationship with Michael Jackson.
But no, that's
The
not
aggressor.
true at all.
You told
us that.
No,
That you
Michael
pursued
called
him.
me. Michael invited me to his house. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think
Corey.
I mean, let me tell you something about Michael Jackson, okay? Michael Jackson has got like 300 people that work for him,
Yeah.
including a full security team. And if Michael Jackson does not want somebody near him, he can very well avoid them from being near him.
Exactly. That's what I said earlier. It's like, it's fucking Michael Jackson. You think Corey just went and knocked on his door?
Not hard at all.
Well, hey, by the way, with Corey, you never know what you're getting either. Because
Right.
Corey, you've had a really screwed up life.
Yes.
Corey was.
And maybe you may not remember things. There were times.
Oh, please, Robin.
Corey, is it possible that you might have had sex with Michael
Get out
Jackson?
of here.
You know what I mean? Because there were times you were so
Come
wasted.
on, Howard.
God did get it on with you.
Well, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, maybe if we hypnotize her, you could find a few things that might have happened.
Yeah.
Plus, Corey,
I
you're so.
thought it was a video.
Yeah, they
but,
hypnotized
Corey,
Corey.
you're very ensconced in the whole show. You know what I mean?
No. Let me tell you something. Okay, first.
Hypnotized Corey, and in it, it turns out he was he was SA'd at Neverland Ranch long ago. Fuzzy memories, and whenever they come to light, it turns out it was Bubbles the whole time.
First of all,
That doesn't mean that he didn't molest children, but you're just going on record and saying, hey,
Bubbles
I slept in
is
the guy's
Michael
room and he didn't
Jackson's
molest me.
chimpanzee, by
okay,
the way.
I went on record saying that, but what I'm saying about Latoya is different.
Right,
okay?
you're saying that she has no concrete evidence either.
No, what I'm saying is that she's pissed me off, okay?
Right.
She's pissed me off because all of a sudden now she's a savior, okay? If this was all true, why didn't she say something 5 years ago?
Because she didn't have the balls to say it.
Oh, she had the balls.
Wait a second, Corey. Wait a
3
second.
years ago,
You're
to
telling
come
me-
out and say that her father abused her and sexually molested
No
her,
shit.
and she could come clean with all this other stuff.
I mean, clearly
about her
Howard's
book and
just
this whole
fucking
bit.
prodding
All of a
Corey
sudden
here,
she's
but
gonna just remember this too.
I don't know. She's saying, hey, there's an investigation. I'm feeling guilty that I never stepped. There's lots of people who witness crimes and stuff
And don't say
and
anything.
never say a word for
But her whole
years.
trip before was that she was wiping the slate clean and she was bringing out everything that was,
Corey, how long did it take you?
Before you came out on our show and spoke about.
Hey, when I was ready to be honest, I got honest about everything, and that was it. No, that's true. I mean,
Well,
once
maybe
I
that's the way
decided I
you
wanted
did
to be
That's the way
honest
Corey
about
did it.
Huh?
So, Corey, that was very good when the two of you were going out. I really
I mean,
enjoyed
yeah.
that. And by the
And
way,
this all stands
Latoya
true
did
as well.
say stuff about your parents that is not true.
That's right.
Is your mother an alcoholic?
Well, my mother has had her problems.
Right. And your father is not an alcoholic.
No, my father smoked marijuana.
Right.
Well,
Yep.
then she had it absolutely
Hell
right.
yeah.
She did.
No, she didn't. She said they had a problem with it.
No,
Yeah, she said I
it
was
a
going.
drug
She said I
problem
was
with
running
her
around
parents.
telling Michael that he was an alcoholic and this and that. That's it's just BS.
Right.
She
you know.
said later, Corey, that, well, I know one parent had a drinking problem, another parent had a drug problem.
No, wrong.
See,
I mean,
it's wrong.
It
you
is.
know,
They're trying to make
It's wrong.
He
excuses,
just
these
said his mother
fuckers.
had a drinking problem and his father smoked marijuana.
Yeah, but smoking marijuana isn't exactly a drug problem.
To Latoya, that may be
Hell
correct.
yeah.
yeah, okay, yeah. Latoya, Miss Perfect and Innocent. She doesn't have sex with her husband, but she poses for Playboy. It makes sense to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Got
there's
him.
a
A
lot
lot
of
of stuff
confusion.
here doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean,
The only thing that makes sense is I think we had a very high tune-in rate for that argument.
Yeah, I bet,
well,
man.
let me tell you something, man. The only reason I had to come on and talk to her was I was so frustrated.
Right. No, but you did the right thing. You came forward, you talked, you said your piece, and Latoya said her thing.
But let me ask you something.
What?
What do you think she has to gain by doing this?
I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. You know, I just know that there's something weird with her and that husband of hers.
Yeah.
There's no doubt that. She even says that.
Let me tell you something. I spent last weekend with the Jacksons.
Yeah.
Okay? I was at their house for the whole weekend with Kate and Joseph.
No wonder he's busy defending
Yes,
them. Look at the
absolutely.
energy he's getting out of this.
Yeah, well, I spent the weekend with Kate and Joseph. Kate's sitting there practically crying.
Well, any mother would.
Huh?
Any mother would.
Yeah,
Well, of course. Of course. And she's sitting there looking me in the eyes going, Corey, Michael would call me up after being with children all day in the hospital, and he would say, God, they're in so much pain. I wish there was something I could do to help them. You know, with tears, crying on the phone to me.
Yeah.
And how can they say this stuff is true? And how can my own daughter be out there saying all these horrible things about her brother and her family? You know, and when I look into a mother's eyes and see that, how am I supposed to?
When did you go to the ranch? When did you go to the Latoya? When did you go to the Jackson home?
Last weekend.
So how could the mother be crying about Latoya saying that? She didn't hold the press conference till yesterday.
She was saying about the other stuff that Latoya had said, not even getting into all this.
Almost caught you, you tricky little. Hey, Corey, I gotta go anyway. You know what? Well, who cares?
He slipped through again.
I'm too busy. He always has an answer, that Corey.
No, because I'm being honest.
Hey, I'm going to be out there signing books on Los Angeles.
Yeah, I want to see you. You always say that when you come out
why don't
here,
you come
want to
over?
get together.
Why don't you come over to the book signing?
Where's it at?
It's going to be at Book Soup.
On Sunset?
Sunset. I'll get there at 11 o'clock, and I'll sign anybody's book who gets there by noon. How's that?
Well,
Bring the Jacksons.
I want to come early so I can
Bring the
I
Jacksons.
can see you.
Oh.
Because otherwise it'll be a mob scene.
It will not. It's going to be fine.
Oh, please.
No. It's at Christmas time. No one's around.
That's like Christmas.
No.
Yeah, a lot of people are out of the country.
Man, that would have been one hell of a book
I'm
signing.
going to show up there if it's going to be a whole mob thing now.
I was talking to the guy who owns Book Soup, and I've got. So far, I've lined up 5 supermodel type bikini girls.
So that's very
in the
cool.
window.
This is like, I'm assuming, right whenever Private Parts came out, you know, his book. And then years later, 97, about 3-4 years later after this, which is the other video I just covered on YouTube. It's where they're right before the premiere of Private Parts, right before Corey Feldman met Marilyn Manson at that premiere. And then that kind of ties back into the Corey Feldman versus Rose McGowan saga. So you can kind of watch these all in order.
Did you say
Corey,
I should be there?
Yeah, I'm saying, if I tell you to be somewhere, just be there. And then I'm going to, I want a band to play, but I don't know which band.
Where are they going to play?
There's a place out front where they could actually play.
In front of the girls?
Yeah. So they could have something to dance to.
Let me ask you a question.
I would like to have Pearl Jam play, but
Oh, yeah.
Is there going to be security there?
either them or Guns N' Roses.
Of course there's going to be
I
security.
mean, will there be security so if I show up, they can, like, walk?
Yeah. Just wait online. They'll sign your book. Why do you have to cut in front of the line?
Well,
Oh, you know you're a big shot?
no, just because I
What is he
thought maybe
stuttering,
I
John?
could get
I
closer
have a
to
woman
you
on the phone
faster,
upset
Howard.
with Corey.
You have a woman on the phone upset with Corey?
Yeah, upset with what Corey's saying.
Why is she upset?
Well, because she is, why she
Ooh, you got an
why
upset
Corey's not
caller.
sympathy for these people who are molested or allegedly molested.
Ma'am?
Yeah.
I think that Corey is basically saying that his experience was one not of being molested, and he said that basically he felt Latoya didn't have any evidence.
Correct.
Well, the pain that I'm feeling is I saw Latoya on TV. I saw the pain that she's going through in her heart. Here she is. Not only is she a victim of child abuse, but now her brother, who's her best friend, she's telling the world, not only was he my best friend, but I had to keep this horrible secret because I really believe what my brother did was wrong. And I'm not going to stand.
Yeah.
What she's doing is coming out saving the children of the world. And, Michael Jackson, I believe, is being, really hypocritical. Save the children. For what? Himself?
Yeah,
For
well,
his bank
Jesus.
I'll tell you something. This woman has a point, Corey. I believe that what Latoya did as well was very brave. I don't see anything. It's very hard.
He doesn't even know why she would do it. He can't come up with a good reason for it.
Exactly.
That's right.
Well, the only reason I can come up with is the fact that she's very sick and she's doing it for attention.
She's sick
When
because
did
she
you
was
become a
abused,
doctor?
Corey. What are you hiding from Michael? How much of a check did you get?
Ooh.
Oh, really?
Ooh. When
Well,
did
there's
I
something
you
we
had
haven't
that?
I hadn't thought of that. This lady.
Let me tell you something, whatever your name is. I was molested as a child, okay? And
Corey's had everything.
When did you
and believe me, I would have preferred a check, okay?
He was high and some guy.
Yeah, right.
some guy, no, just seriously. Corey was high and some guy did some stuff to him.
Yeah,
no.
a guy who befriended him.
Yeah.
Oh,
God damn.
But although Corey hasn't gotten
shit.
maybe physically a check, but he does get to go to the Jackson's home. He does get to go to the compound.
Right, so it's to his best interest to keep his mouth shut.
Now, wait a minute, Howard. Howard, what is this?
Latoya went and got her own life.
Now you're turning on me.
No, he's
I'll
just
turn on
telling
you
the
as-
truth,
I'll turn on
Corey.
you as long
Open
as I-
your eyes, man.
What was that, Howard?
I'm listening to the lady.
I'm
Oh,
telling
I
Corey to open his eyes.
Oh, my eyes are wide open.
I don't think so, Corey. I
I
think
think
you're in
so.
as much
All right,
denial as
Corey.
the Jackson family.
Corey, I have a question for you. What do you think of this little 13-year-old boy?
I think that it's horrible what he's being put through.
Do you think he's lying?
I don't think he hasn't said anything.
Oh.
Have you heard from him?
Well, he has given a deposition, Corey.
Well, he gave a deposition, but we haven't heard from him. We haven't seen
You
him.
can hear about that too, about what all went down there in that video I'll tag below.
All right, listen. I had enough of this.
Yeah.
At this point, I've had enough.
Well, God bless you, Howard.
Oh,
Save
thank
the
you.
children.
Thank you.
Bye, Robin. Merry
Bye-bye.
Christmas.
Same to you.
Merry Christmas.
What was that all about?
Just more tension.
Just somebody voicing
I can't
their
believe,
opinion.
Howard,
It's the roller coaster that's this show.
as long as we've been friends, that you would sit there and some chick calls up, and now you're
No shit.
alienating me.
Wait a minute, Corey, you called up to defend Michael Jackson. We let you defend.
Yeah, now we're all attacking you.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Have you ever seen Michael Jackson's penis?
No.
Is he half white and half black?
Tell the truth.
Half white, half black.
You've seen him.
No, he's got black. Yeah, he's got brown spots.
He has brown spots?
Yeah.
Really?
Like a zebra?
No, like spots, like
Like a leopard?
Leopard.
Leopard? All right, listen, Corey, I gotta go.
Jesus.
I'll see you. You
Fuckers.
want to get together in California?
Yeah.
So come by. I'm telling you, there's going to be all kind of bikini girls in the window. It's Book Soup on Sunset, 11 o'clock on the.
And there'll be plenty of security.
There'll be plenty of security. Get right in.
Okay.
And play some music and the whole thing. You can get up and play a few tunes.
Okay.
You go up there and do that Michael Jackson dance
Nice.
you do.
Watch it.
He does a dance like Michael Jackson.
No, I won't be dancing like that right now.
He dances backwards.
I'm in mourning right now.
So you can't do that dance?
I'm in mourning. Yeah, I can't do anything.
What are you mourning?
He hasn't had a lesbian in 3 days.
I see.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
All right, I'll see you later.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's Corey Feldman, the guy with a wild past.
Nice.
I got to take a
You
break.
know, I don't know if there are any good witnesses in this case.
Yeah. I got to take a break and then tell everybody what's going on everywhere.
Total bullshit.